Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review of a new security camera I got. So one of my Amcrest 8 megapixel cameras kind of grenaded itself when I did a firmware update. Don't know why, because the same firmware update worked fine on two other units, but that was the one that died was an IP8M-T2499EW. I have a couple of YouTube videos that cover that camera, so I'll let you take a look at those. But this, I think, is the successor to that camera. This one is an IP8M. Where is the model? There it is. IP8M-T2669EW-AI. Give it to Amcrest for a crazy model number. Come on, focus. There we go. So I think this camera is more or less the same, maybe just a bit newer. But this one supposedly has the built-in smart features. So if you recall, when I reviewed the IP8M-T2499, that camera from Amcrest, the stock Amcrest firmware, has no face recognition, people detection, any of that fun stuff. This one supposedly has that out of the box. So I'm guessing the hardware is probably a little bit newer, and Amcrest just got smart and built that into their own firmware rather than trying to upsell that. Or I guess they did upsell it because I paid extra for this. So let's unbox it. Pick this up on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. There's a couple things I don't like so much about the Dahua firmware. For one, the recording format is some kind of proprietary Dahua format, whereas Amcrest, I think, is just MP4. So there's no like proprietary tooling that you need. The app for the Amcrest cameras, I think, works a little bit better too. So hopefully I don't need to do any Dahua firmware flashing on this one. So you get a quick start guide that goes right in the trash. Some other nonsense also right in the trash. Some, I guess some shrouds for the Ethernet cable. This is a PoE camera, just like the other IP8M camera. Looks very much the same. I'm going to try to reuse the same mount even, so I don't have to drill new holes in my house. This is going to mount right above my front door. And thankfully it looks more or less the same. I do see some obvious improvements right away. So this trap door was not there on the other one. I'm guessing that the micro SD card is in there, and I probably learned that if I read the quick start guide, but I'm not going to do that. What fun is that? Got to take our little Torx wrench that comes with it and loosen this, maybe. Maybe it's this one. There we go. This should loosen our camera up. I don't know if this mount is the same. It looks a little bit different, but could just be my imagination. It's been a long day. It does look the same. The camera itself is a bit different though. Remember the other one was kind of more rounded. So it looks like there's a micro SD card and a factory reset, which is awesome because one of the weaknesses of the other camera, the IP8M-T2499EW, is that I think you have to take the whole freaking inside of the camera apart to reset it. This one looks like there's a trap door, so that's super convenient. That's awesome. So I guess without further ado, we can start to install this thing and see what it can do. Give you guys a quick snapshot of the box. You can see its features. Again, it's pretty much a lot of the same stuff that you saw on the other IP8M camera. It's got a 2.8mm fixed lens, no PTZ, no what do you call it? No optical zooming. It does H.265, which is nice, so you use less disk space that way. Also does H.264. Takes up to a 256 gig micro SD card. I mean, you guys can read this as well as I can. Hold it there for a minute in case you want to screenshot it and get my thumb out of the way. All right, that's long enough. Cool, I'm excited. Let's get it installed. That's where the old camera used to be. And I'm just comparing the old and new mounts side by side. They look to be identical, which is kind of nice. Less work for me, right? I'm going to reuse all the existing wiring. trying to remember how I did this. Oh yeah, I got to drop this down a little bit. Let's see. Let me get a screwdriver, because I don't think no, I don't have one out here. Stand by. Just going to loosen the mounting screws a little bit, because the Ethernet cable comes through here, out here, and connects there. So I just want to make sure there's enough slack to fit the cable through there. That might work. Let's give it a shot. Look at that, like a glove, maybe. Loosen this one a little bit more. Loosen that one a little bit more. Loosen that one. There we go. That was the hard part, hopefully. Just like that. Now let's tighten this mounting hardware back up. You guys don't need to watch that part. I can do that myself. Okay, got all the mounting screws tightened up. Let's put the cap on and kind of memorialize this thing in place, hopefully. Unless I was wrong and this isn't the same, but it feels like it is. Yeah, if you want to, you can try. I don't think it's going to work, though. You have to come around that side. No. Actually, you know what? Turn it towards me. I'm getting too old. Nope. Turn it towards me. There you go.
It's not
just hold it.
Okay.
There's a set screw here.
Yeah. So it could maybe be like a threaded and screw right in.
No. All right, let go. Okay, I did it.
Do you want that?
Yeah, I don't want it aimed at the front door. Just it's convenient to tighten it this way. Sneak around the front like this. Hopefully I have enough lead on the mic. Look at that, perfect. Well, I'm sure it's going to be upside down, but we can flip it. I'm not worried about that. Hi. I think so, but I can't get her right now. I'm shooting a YouTube video. No, I am. You're on my video right now. And I don't know how to edit video, so you're going to be there forever. I think that'll do it. So I'm just kind of fine-tuning the mount here to hold the camera in place. Then we'll boot it up on the computer, and we'll fine-tune the mount. So let's get our waterproof connector here. Let's see if I can remember how this goes on. You know what? I don't care enough, because it's already waterproof. Let there be light. All right, so now I have this plugged into my PoE switch. Again, this is existing wiring, so this is a pretty easy job. I'm swapping one camera out for another very similar one, so very minor pain for me. Now, if you don't have the camera installed, you're gonna have to run this cable. And depending upon what your house is set up like, it might be easy, it might be impossible. This house has decent attic access, but being that it's August, it's a little warm up there. So you might want to, this might be a good winter project. This thing is not hooked in the back. Let's try this again.
It'd be a great idea, Joe. You got to patent that thing where it screws in like a jar of
Nah. Patents are for girls.
Yeah. It's like a twist and a half.
There we go. Now it's locked in place. Make sure there's no gap in the back, folks. That's what she said. If there's a gap in the back, you're doing something wrong. There we go. All right, to the bat cave. Okay, I got the camera aimed, and I did that by navigating into my internet router, which in this case is an Untangle NG firewall appliance. You probably have like a Linksys or a D-Link or an ASUS router, or maybe even something from your internet service provider. But regardless, if that's the case, just navigate into your router settings, and you want to find the brand new device that was added to your network that begins with AMC, which I'm assuming stands for Amcrest. You'll also see at the MAC address over here probably begins with 9 Charlie 8. What's E? Epsilon? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, so you want to find the IP address. So my IP address for my camera is 10.13.0.29. Yours probably will not be that. It'll be a different number. I have mine set up on a separate, what they call VLAN, just for security reasons, but I won't go into that a great deal right now, but just realize that your IP address for your camera will be different. But you want to take that IP address and you want to go to a web browser, and you should see something that looks a bit like this. So I'm going to log in, and you should be prompted to change your password immediately. I've already done that. And you can see that I've got the camera aimed, or see it, I guess, kind of reasonably, right? You can see my truck, you can see my wife's Jeep, you can see the full driveway. So I'm happy with how it's aimed. So I think the first step is probably to check the firmware and see if it needs a firmware update. So let's go to version. So this is our firmware update, our firmware version right here. And let's go and see if there's a new version available. Upgrade, let's do download the latest. Type in our camera model number. And again, this is probably just a stock Dahua camera, but it looks like there is a firmware update. I can tell because the version that we are at right now, the build date is September of 2020, and I see this one is April of 2021. This is also 2.8.00.AC001. This is just AC000, so looks like there is an update, so we'll download that. And upgrading the firmware is very easy. It's good to do that before you set anything up, because they always recommend doing a factory reset after a firmware update. So I have my firmware saved into my downloads directory. And again, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to stick with the the Amcrest firmware for now, just until I get a sense of how it behaves. This is definitely a different hardware platform than the IP8M-T2499EW, because that was an HX 5X RHEA, RHEA. This is an HX3XXX Dalton. So definitely a different platform. So let's do our upgrade. And we'll wait. And drink a little bit of red wine. We will resume when this is done. So the firmware upgrade in theory is done. The camera rebooted, but I think that it actually took longer to reboot than the website thought, because it's not up yet. Let's refresh this page again. Hopefully the camera is online, and it is. I think it's the timing issue. Let's log in and confirm that our firmware has changed. Let's go to information, version. And now it is AC001, and our build date is April 2021. So that is all done. Now, I want to show you guys something. So like I've been telling you, these are actual Dahua cameras, right? So you can actually use the Dahua API, which I think is kind of cool. I have a copy of it here somewhere. Just waiting for the PDF to come up. They document the API endpoints. So you can actually ask the camera information that you won't necessarily see in the web interface, at least not obviously. Let's paste this in here. So really all I did is, after the IP address, I did CGI bin magicbox.cgi !action equals get system info. It's going to ask you for your login credentials. This is a dead giveaway that you're dealing with a Dahua camera. And in fact, this will tell you which one you have. So this camera is actually an HDW 3841TM-HS. Let's Google that and see if we can find that camera. So definitely 100% sure this is a Dahua camera. And this is actually the camera that it is right here. Pretty cool stuff. So I guess Amcrest just buys these cameras and they relabel them and resell them. So, but again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We will use the Amcrest firmware. Actually, let's Google this processor. I don't recognize that. Was in Umbrella 2? Oh, that one doesn't come up anywhere. I think I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I'm just guessing here. I'm going to embarrass myself more than I already have. That's interesting. I don't recognize that CPU. And neither does Google, apparently. Some kind of clamp. Trying CPU. Oh, here we go. New Dahua cams are not high silicon based. Watch out. Let's see what they are. Appears that, oh, Sigma Star. It appears that someone has already discovered what we are looking at right now. Okay. High silicon. Okay, here we go. A little more red wine. Okay, so it's an ARM Cortex A7, which is kind of what we expected. Can we find anything specific about? Oh, it's a dual core. Okay, I don't think the T2499EW was a dual core. Let's see, so this is a 3.9, so it's two Cortex A7s. Now I'm curious. Let me look at one of my other cameras. So let's go to IP8M Northwest. We'll run the same command on that camera. This one is running a Dahua firmware. I just want to get the processor of this one because this is different. I should note, in case you don't look through the documentation, the default password is just admin. Default login is 2. Okay, so this is S3LM. I was close. So this one I don't think is a dual core processor. Ambarella. Okay, I had the right spelling, didn't I? Okay, so it's a 720 megahertz ARM Cortex A9. This is a 2 by ARM Cortex A7. I think I might do some more research on this offline. Anyway, getting ahead of ourselves. Probably boring you to death, right? So let's go back to our brand new camera and let's mess around with some of the functionality that we paid for. Let's see if this thing really is worth the extra money. Or if you can just buy the T2499EW and flash the Dahua firmware for this smart functionality. Let's do kind of a side-to-side comparison of a night shot. Granted, this one does have some light. Let's go to this one here, which is the T2499EW, again with the Dahua firmware. Come on. Notice right away this is a little bit more sluggish, so I'm guessing that has something to do with the processor. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. I believe this one has the Sony Starvis image sensor, which supposedly has superior night vision, although this doesn't really look like it, does it? Let's try a different one. Let's do, that one might need to have its lens clean. Let's do this one. This is, again, same camera, just probably closer lighting to what we're looking at on the new one. So this one is on the far east side of my house. Again, you can see it's quite a bit slower than the newer one. Any day. Hello. There we go. Yeah, it's sluggish. There we go. So this one's pretty crisp and clear, and you can see it's got similar lighting. I would say the picture is pretty similar. Not a drastic difference between the two. Let's go ahead and let's do video detection, see what we see. Face detection, audio detection. Smart motion detection. Here we go. I'm not really interested in capturing faces so much as I am people and cars. Let's save that. I think what I'm going to do is offline. I'm going to set up this to record to my my computer behind me, which is where my other cameras record to. It's actually not really a computer. It's really a Raspberry Pi. I think it's a Raspberry Pi 4, if I recall. So here we have these cameras are all recording to this Raspberry Pi 4 here. So I'm going to configure this new camera to do the same thing, and with human and vehicle detection, and we'll maybe let it run for half a day or so. We'll see what we see. See if there's a big difference. And because the other cameras capture trees blowing in the breeze, it captures shadows, it captures bugs, everything. So there's a lot of white noise. Be interesting to see if this new camera with these smart features actually cut down on that. So let me set that up. We'll pick it up after we have some data to look at. Hey guys, so the new security camera has been running for a couple days now. I have the IVS system, which is really Dahua's like kind of AI system, enabled on all of my cameras equally. So I have it enabled on the IP8M-T. Oh boy, I can't remember the model number of the new brand new camera. Anyway, the one I opened with in this video. And I also have it enabled on my two older IP8M-T2499EW cameras. So they're all configured the same. So I was hoping to kind of give like, I don't know, just try to justify if it's worth the extra cost. Now keep in mind, my older IP8M-T2499EW cameras, which I also have a YouTube video on, those do not come with any AI features from Amcrest. Those all those features are turned off, but I have a video that shows you how to flash the Dahua firmware that turns those features onto those cameras. So basically, you're turning, a $100 security camera into a couple $100 security camera. So right now, the newer Amcrest camera, whose model number is escaping me at the moment, and the older cameras should be pretty much functionally equivalent at this point. So I just want to see, are we getting our money's worth? Because the newer one is about 130, 140 bucks. The older one is, I don't know, maybe right around 100. Sometimes it goes on sale for like 80. So let's take a look at some footage. So these are the three cameras I have: IPCam Driveway 1, IPCam Driveway 3, and IPCam Northwest. Don't worry about where Driveway 2 is. It's a long story. So this is the one that I installed. Let's take a look at some of the footage. Hopefully this will come across okay. What I found is that with that IVS system from Dahua turned on, it's pretty rare that I see a video that the camera, three of the cameras record that do not have either a person or vehicle moving in them, which is good. Let's take a peek at this one. So there's someone walking their dog over here. So we got a person, we got a hit. And obviously you can aim this, you can set the region such that you don't care if someone's walking the dog across the street. Let's pick another one. Just picking at random here. Oh, there are the kids. tick, 9:33 in the morning. Oh, there's someone walking over there. So again, I wouldn't get this kind of hit rate before. Normally I'd see videos of trees blowing in the wind or a bug flying around the camera. They've done a pretty good job with this, to be honest with you. Now let's take a look at maybe something at night so you can get a sense of the night vision. So there's a car. That's a hit. Again, I have it configured to pick up people or cars. Oh, there's another vehicle coming from the other direction. So far, so good. So far, I think everything I'm showing you, and again, I'm just picking at random, everything I'm showing you has some form of person or vehicle moving. So it's really cut down a ton of white noise. There's a neighbor walking around outside. You get the idea. I'm not going to show you every single video. Let's check. So that was this is the new camera here. Let's take a look at one of the old cameras. So again, this is the older cameras are IP8M-T2499EW cameras, but I got rid of the Amcrest firmware and I flashed the Dahua firmware that enables a lot of the smart features. Now the Dahua firmware, for whatever reason, likes to record videos in this proprietary DAV format, so you kind of have to deal with that. So, okay, so that was a little flash from light, maybe? Maybe the light and the car confused it, I'm not really sure. That was a miss. Again, another light and car. I guess it's a miss, right? I don't know. I'm not sure how the new camera would deal with something like that, to be honest with you. Oh, there's a cat. I think that's fine. I mean, really expect a $100 camera until they've seen a cat and a human. Okay, knowing my neighbor's cat's protecting the neighborhood anyway. Oh, little family of raccoons. Look at that. It's cute. So again, I'm not seeing videos of trees blowing in the wind. There's something blowing in the wind. Let's see if the vehicle pulls up. That's unfortunate. We have a lot of that. That's me pulling in. Oh. So far, we've really only seen one genuine, for sure. Hey, this is not what we want to see. That was that bush blowing in the wind at night. I talk again. So yeah, there's always something moving. This is good. Again, I would have hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of just white noise to sit through, and you just don't even look at the footage anymore unless you have a problem. Speaking of which, the reason why I installed these security cameras, let me see if I can find the video and show you guys what started all this. I think I have it somewhere. This is it. Nope, that's not it. It's something else. I might not have it anymore. It's the same thing. I thought I saved it. Yeah, unfortunate. Anyway, so a couple of years ago, there was someone I caught on camera trying to break into my truck. So this is another camera that I have. Again, one of the older ones. This one, you're not going to see as good quality. I need to aim it better. You'll see why in a second. So this is the wall of my house right here. So I caught a vehicle. And I think a lot of the infrared light is reflecting off the house and kind of messing up the image quality. I probably need to clean the lens too. There's another car. So yeah, that IVS system is pretty cool. Let me show you how it works. So let's go into one of the cameras. One of the things I do like about the new camera is blazingly fast compared to the older one. I don't know if it's the processor or what. The setup is pretty much the same on both cameras because, again, it's probably pretty much the same software. So what I did is I went into this IVS system here, and you can define this bounding box where you want it to look for humans or motor vehicles. And we're waiting for things to appear there or cross. See, it's the same setup in both places. So I guess knowing that you can flash this fancy firmware onto the Dahua camera, the cheaper Dahua camera, would I pay more money for the expensive camera? I don't think so. I mean, just look back and forth. There's not a whole lot of difference here. I mean, one subtle difference here. There's an object filter on the newer one, human motor vehicle. You don't see that here. Setting, enter, and exit. So maybe there's some subtle differences, but they both perform pretty well, though, honestly, relative to how well things were going before. So I think that's probably all I'm going to cover in this video. Again, highly recommend these cameras. They're durable, they're feature rich, you get a lot for your money. But again, I don't know that I would spend the extra money for the expensive camera. Just because, it's 30, 40, 50, I guess it's as much as $60 extra. If you get the cheap camera on sale, it's $80 or so, and the retail on the more expensive camera, $140 or so. That's a lot of money. Anyway, hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did, please subscribe and stay safe, everybody. Thanks for watching.